Hello everybody, it's Red Panda Gamer here for another exciting quick look. Today we are looking at Our Darker Purpose. Ooh, spooky. Now guys, this is a game that was kickstarted a couple of months ago actually. They had a goal of $40,000, they reached $42,000, and now they are releasing the game in Steam Early Access for $25. Now, whether or not this game is worth that original $25 may be something we could talk about a little later. But I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the game. I went ahead and got an early build. This actually comes out on Wednesday, so that's January 29th. This is the early access build that I was given. So already we kind of get a Don't Starve vibe from it, and that doesn't really stop. So we have a lot of reading here. So here we go. The waking floors. Elderly Mr. L trusted three of his students most. Regan, who was pretty. We have Connorell, who was strong. And we have Cordy, who was shy. One day before Cordy's 9th birthday, Mr. L was summoned to the administrator's office. He left the three in control of the room. The charismatic children ran to Regan, the athletic to Connorell. And the remainder drifted to Cordy. Regan's followers cackled as they joke and dance. Connorell's grunted as they sparred, and the quiet ones huddled closer to the corner, and Mr. L never came back. And Cordy saw Connorell and Regan signal each other, and then all the beautiful and powerful children attacked the quiet ones. The bookcases were pulled down and the desk tossed about, and all the quiet children killed. The victors poured out into the hallways delighted, for the teachers had vanished and the school was theirs. Except hidden beneath a fallen bookcase, Cordy was alive, and she had discovered how to speak. What an odd story. It ends quickly and badly, I'm sure. So this game is so much like The Binding of Isaac and Don't Starve. I don't know how to feel about it. Maybe that you guys in the comments can kind of have your own discussion about it, but I mean, even the starting room, you know, we have the instructions on the floor, we have the WASD with arrow keys controls. We don't have bombs, at least not yet anyway. We do have a roll, which is something that Binding of Isaac obviously did not have, but Binding of Isaac did have spacebar items. So basically, this game is a top-down roguelike action game. I'm not really sure. I mean, it can be qualified as a lot of things. Binding of Isaac definitely showed that you can kind of combine a lot of genres. So this game, I mean, I'm going to try not to talk too much about how it compares to Binding of Isaac. At least not till more close to the end. I'll try and just talk about this as a product because that's what you wanted to see. You know, you didn't want to hear someone talk about a different game that you may or may not know of. Full on juice boxes. I only have, okay, I have 3 out of 3 juice boxes. So can I just use one here? I don't know if the items remain afterwards, but I guess I might as well go ahead and use it. Okay, so those heal 20 HP. That's cool. So I do love the visual style of it. It's not quite like Don't Starve, but it does still have that like Tim Burton-y feel to it that reminds me a lot of like the animated stuff in James and the Giant Peach, but it's still its own thing. You know, I really don't want to... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are there just Tesla coils over here? So this game's got a lot of traps, and sometimes the traps help you, and sometimes they just hurt you, and I guess this is an example of where they just hurt you. There are different skins of enemies, which, I hate to say it again, but like Binding of Isaac, so you'll have like champion versions of enemies that, in this case, shoot like ridiculous amounts out at you, and they are kind of a pain. So the game is different every single time you play it, which obviously I have no problem with any sort of roguelike game. I think roguelike elements are one of the best things you could put in your game. The ability to have a different experience every single time you play is fantastic. You know, it adds replayability. But the real question is someone going to want to spend the amount of time with this game that someone might with something like Binding of Isaac? So it empowers juice. Effective next spring chemistry labs, and I couldn't even read that. So I don't like how much reading there is, and obviously that kind of says more about me, I guess, than the game, but I think this is a fairly simple game. Whoa, okay, so we leveled up. the Red Badge of Courage and Hardiness, the Hound of Racerville. So, literary references here. Hound of Baskerville and the Red Badge of Courage. So 50 life, or 10 plus damage. Bonus, enemies are twice as likely to drop chalk. I don't know what chalk does, but sure, let's go with that. I always like doing more damage. So, unlike Binding of Isaac, where you find items and stuff to get better abilities, in this game you actually... Oh my freaking god. In this game you actually... Frothy the Dragon. Stay frothy, my friends. This looks... Damn. What a crazy first boss. I really, really want to like this game, because I do really love the art style. Like, the way the way this dude looks is really cool. I like the way his fire looks as well. I like the character design of the character that we're playing as, of course, too. I always like female characters in games. Like, I know that they're not the most popular, and that some people kind of throw a fit over girls in video games for whatever stupid reason. But I like the look of this character, you know? She seems like she can hold her own. She's, you know, the victim of being the quieter of the group, I think. Still not entirely sure what that story was all about. I'm also not sure about these freaking hitboxes. But like I said, everything I say you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, because this is an early access game, but, you know, the fact that it's early access may be one of its own... it might be its own threat, really, in a lot of ways, for some people. I know I personally love early access when it's done right, but I also know that it's not always done right. But, you know, these are developers I don't know too much about, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So we beat the boss, and we get a journal entry. Okay, that's the original one. So, Frothy the Dragon. There's general disagreement about what exactly went wrong with Frothy the Cardboard Dragon during last year's Winter Musical. Most believe that the dragon was intended to remain stationary, that it had relatively minor role in the production, and that red cellophane would have been just as effective as actual fire. Sadly, the enterprising student who originally designed the beast was consumed by his own creation moments before the theater was evacuated. No one knows where the dragon went after leaving the auditorium, or whether it is still somewhere on the grounds. The administrators gleefully described the incident as a remarkable occurrence that stood out in the otherwise unremarkable semester. Defeat Frothy and Dragon without taking damage. So I guess we get an achievement for that. So, cool. That is actually something I unlocked earlier, and I'd rather not spoil it, obviously. This orb will take us to the next area, which I don't want to do yet because we haven't explored all of the floors here. I don't love the Oh, fucking damn it. These things are so hard to see sometimes. I don't love the placement of the map either. I know it sounds kind of nitpicky, but I just feel like there has got to be a better way to implement it, rather than just having it be slightly off to the left. I don't know. I just don't like how it looks. Especially when this game's highlight is its art style, the map kind of gets in the way, in my opinion. So we picked up money for killing a bunch of dudes, and now we can buy stuff. Sadly, the affected juice burned through the table floor. What did that say? And ended fifth form. Okay. Potato battery creates a projectile slowing field. How impressive! No students received dinner tonight on account of Mara's little experiment. And then, reluctantly, we have returned the album to Adam G. The photos themselves have been destroyed. So I'm not going to buy anything. I'd rather save my money. Plus, the only thing I think I could buy was the the juice, which I already have 3 of. And actually, I should probably drink some of that juice. I guess it would have helped to... Maybe I should have... Yeah, it's fine. So we get a D. You get a grade every single time you go through here. I don't really know why I should care about the grade, but oh well. So, a pretty interesting thing about this is actually something I think is kind of cool, is after you finish a level, you actually get to pick a path, and it kind of adds to your story. And there are different rewards based on which side you go. Obviously, some sides are more difficult than others. So this is the Lake Culinary Halls of St. Freud. Actually, I don't know if that's supposed to be a throwback to the other Sanctoid game. Then the Pack Study Halls of Deference. Staircase ahead leads to the classroom floor. These spaces represent the heart of Edgewood's mission, which is to instill its students with the values and skills to avoid the mistakes of their predecessors. Recent events have supposedly compromised the quality of a small number of the classrooms, with complaints concerning the integrity of the walls and chalkboards. But the rooms are still more than sufficient to serve their educational purposes. The steps are littered with rags and scraps of paper, signs of Brog encampment. Chunks of the banister are missing, and someone's been prying up the nails from the floor. Hunger and desperation have driven these students to hunt in packs with improvised weapons. Stay away from the shadows and you'll be fine. We assure you that these are some of the friendliest students at Edgewood. So I'm actually going to go here after reading that nice description. So far, this looks pretty much exactly the same, which is a little disappointing. Just because when I was playing this earlier, I went to another area in the game, and it actually looked relatively different. There's some nice juice for us. Whoa! So yeah, this is pretty much the same looking. I mean, obviously we have different levels in different rooms, but ultimately there's nothing too crazy that's different. Oh god. So I just want to know, like, okay, this is the boss? It's a present, the box of nice things. Something tells me this isn't actually a box of nice things. But yeah, this game definitely has that, you know, I keep saying Tim Burton, you know, that Nightmare Before Christmas, James, I mean, that's not even necessarily all, what's his name? It's the director of Nightmare Before Christmas and James and the Giant Peach, and I can't actually think of his name right now. This boss fight's annoying. I don't like it. Also, it's just kind of a generic boss, but oh well. And I know I was complaining. Oh god, what the hell? And I know I was complaining about like the reading and stuff, but I could also see it being motivation. The congratulator. I could see it being motivating for some people to finish the game or to try and fight all the bosses because, I mean, I do definitely think like the little blurbs about everything in the game are kind of interesting. It's just with how I am right now, like in the mood I am personally in right now, I am not in the mood to read a bunch of stuff. I want to just play like a roguelike and kind of get caught up in the game. But I didn't even mean to fight the boss yet, except I believe there are markings on the door to show that it is in fact a boss fight. Oh man, what is that? I should probably try to use health, but I kind of can't. Whoa! Celebratory chopper, huh? Yeah, the hitboxes on some of this stuff seems a little... I mean, I don't want to... It's not bad. It might just be my fault for being terrible at the game. But I feel like I'm getting hit when I really shouldn't. But I guess that's just... That's a pretty common complaint, I think, with most games when people think they're better at them than they really are. This fight is just getting on my dang nerves. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay, so when you die, you fail, and you have to start all over, as you'd probably expect. The level is different again this time. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, Jesus, fucking Tesla coil. The level is different again, of course. It's different every time you start the game. And why do I keep going to the boss fights on accident? I mean, it shows like what door is like a boss door. They're like colored slightly differently. Oh man, I don't like this boss fight at all. So this is some harmless markings. It's a weird name for an enemy, but okay, or a boss. He really just, or she just throws like chalk dust at you, it looks like. And you kind of just have to wait it out till it leaves the wall, because it is much easier to fight this way. And then obviously you can hit it in the wall too, but you run the risk of taking damage then. Oh my Because it seems like eventually, like, there really doesn't seem to be a reason to attack it in the actual paintings, because if it just comes right out, then who really cares? There we go. So I've already gotten her journal entry, so I'm not going to worry about it. Oh my gosh, I keep doing that. Keep just walking right into that stuff. So yeah, like I said, this game is going to be $25 when it's released in early access tomorrow. Depending on when I post this, Wednesday, January 29th. I do not think this game is worth $25, and I said I wasn't going to talk too much about it, but the main reason I don't think so is because of The Binding of Isaac. The Binding of Isaac is like $5, and that's, like, I'm pretty sure with the add-ons and everything. And The Binding of Isaac is insanely good, as most of you probably know if you've played it, which hopefully a lot of you have played it. I know that's not really fair to compare these two games because, I mean, in their own right, they are different. Although they are going for the same idea and the same genre, they are ultimately different games, and for that I appreciate. And I don't have a problem with people taking inspiration for other games, and this game very obviously takes inspiration from The Binding of Isaac. But The Binding of Isaac took inspiration from, from The Legend of Zelda, so it's not like Binding of Isaac is necessarily original either. So I just feel like, especially at a my biggest problem is just $25 price point. I would not buy this game. I probably wouldn't have bought Binding of Isaac for that much back when it first came out, and I freaking love Binding of Isaac. But $25 for this is a bit much. When you have games like Banner Saga charging around that, I kind of get it then, but with this, especially for early access, I don't necessarily think it's worth it. So we have different rooms we can go to. We'll just go to the easier one. I don't really care to read it right now. So here we have some red enemies to dictate that they are more powerful, since that's how this works, I guess. I'm not crazy about it. You know, I'd much rather play Binding of Isaac than this. At this point, this game could get a lot better, and I'll definitely revisit it once it's closer to completion. It's just in this current phase, in this current form, I'm really not too crazy about it. Like, the visual design's cool, it's there. Like, they got the ideas down, there definitely seems to be some story to it. They just have to add more stuff. So 20 more speed, 5% attack speed, bonus 50% likelihood. Okay. What is that? Other attempting horseplay in the gardens, damage to enemies on contact. Okay, cool. So there are some passive items that I guess we could pick up, and the rose is one of them. So I'm assuming champions drop items. See, I don't know. I don't think champions is like a pretty... I feel like I've heard that term before in like a game like this. So I'm assuming that wasn't like a Binding of Isaac thing. But it does just kind of add to the comparisons between the two. And there's no part of me that doesn't think they don't want me to, like, I'm sure it'll be frustrating for some of you watching, be like, stop comparing it to Binding of Isaac, stop Binding of Isaac. But in a lot of ways it's almost a compliment, because they do kind of, I mean, they have the right idea, it just, there's work to be done. A lot of work. Oh, not this again. Really? I do not want to fight this boss. I definitely hate this boss so much. Because you have to deal with it flying around, so you can't hit it, and then you got to deal with it spawning enemies, which is also really, really annoying. Especially because it like spawns like sub-bosses basically. And I don't know if killing this hand does any damage to the main dude. But it doesn't look like it did. It seems the best way to handle this is just to ignore the little present things, but it's kind of hard to ignore them. should probably use some of this. But yeah, just the thing that rubs me the wrong way is just the price point. I'm sure in due time, I'm sure once it gets closer to coming out, or once it's officially released, that price will go down, or maybe they will end up justifying the amount of money they're asking for. I do not see that happening, but I don't know. I do not know the course that this game is taking. Obviously, you can check out the Kickstarter page because there's always some added info on those about the game. And I know like a lot of other YouTubers are doing stuff on this game since it does appear to be like in the same vein as Binding of Isaac, and Binding of Isaac and YouTubers go really well together, obviously. If you know you've spent any time at all on the internet. But I haven't watched anyone else's videos because I was trying to keep my own opinions to myself. Like I saw a little bit of one video back when this was first kind of being shown off, but I don't even really remember it at this point. But I wanted my own opinion on this game. I could have played it more, obviously, but I really didn't want to. I have to be honest. So we can have to interact. Gain 50% dodge on roll, destroyed after taking 150 damage. So enemies unused for 2 seconds. Chalk clouds harm enemies and block projectiles. So let's see. Is this something that like so this is like a spacebar item, but it's an E item. I don't know if it's like a one-use thing, or if I can use it as much as I want. I hope I can use it as much as I want, because that'd be cool. Well, not as much, but like, you know. Like a Binding of Isaac spacebar item where it has like a recharge time. Alright, so we completed the level. Don't care about the score. So we have the unmentionable kitchens and the Blackberry Culinary Halls of Foreboding. Let's go to the kitchens just to see if there's... It's not... Oh my fucking god. That dude was kind of scary. Alright, so we got some new enemies here, and some new level types, which is good. That was one of the things I was asking for. Not sure where those tacks came from. Also, did the doors always, like, what's going on over here? Our sack had another revolution. Really? I guess these, yep, now we're potato theocracy. I guess the potatoes are just having a casual conversation. That's fine. So these are like chalk monsters, I guess. So let's see what happens when we do this. Okay, so there is a recharge time, but it's an actual timer, so it's kind of like Diablo style. Dude, those guys are fast. We're about to die. So that's cool. I do like that. I mean, I don't mind the recharge stuff in Binding of Isaac, but I would rather have like a more traditional like time clock that lets us know when we can use an item again. And I'm assuming it takes more time depending on how powerful the item is. Hey there. Actually, I buy a juice box. Thank you. And then the game, that's another thing I should say, is the game is tough. Like, and I say that as a good thing. With a game like this, you don't want it to be easy because then you just blow through it and it's like, well, I don't know if I necessarily want to play that again. But the difficulty definitely adds, like, not quite like a Binding of Isaac to it, like where it's like one more try. But I could see, I mean, I've already played this quite a few times before recording this video, so I'm definitely curious to see where this game will go. And the bosses do seem cool enough. Unlocked Whispers, new lesson. What does that mean? So the memory book always stays the same, but it looks like there's a lot of possible chapters you could do. Extras. So this is like your item collection. There's 4 chapters, 80 items, 35 lessons, 64 pieces of lore, 64 achievements. So I don't know, I mean there's definitely more here, and I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be a dick and try to act like I think this game sucks, because I totally don't. What is this? I equipped this apparently. 1 period to equip. Gain up to 20% extra crit chance when near an enemy. Okay. So I'm not going to be playing any more of this for now. I would like to come back, like revisit this when it's a little bit further down the line. I do think it's an interesting game. I do think there's still room for a game similar to Binding of Isaac. I love Binding of Isaac, and I love that style of game. Like, I love Binding of Isaac, I love Nuclear Throne, and I don't see why our darker purpose couldn't also exist. I just need that thing that pushes it past those two games. And maybe that thing isn't script, it's story. I mean, Nuclear Throne and Binding of Isaac are games without story. Binding of Isaac is a very simple story, which is mostly just taken from the Bible, kind of. So I think the fact that our darker purpose is its story is definitely its strength and what makes it the most unique in comparison to these other top-down shooter roguelikes. So check out the game for yourself. It's Our Darker Purpose. It's going to be out on Steam tomorrow, Wednesday the 29th. Not trying to date this video. But you can also check out OurDarkerPurpose.com for more information on the game. Thanks so much for watching this video, guys. Tell me your comments below. Let me know what you think of the game. If you have any suggestions or thoughts on anything else, let me know. But thanks for watching. Like this video, favorite this video, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Do forget to share love. I'm Panda Gamer, and I will see you guys next time.